Hello and welcome to the Snooker Loopy. I want to say Snooper Looky. That's not a phrase. Welcome to the Snooker Loop. Oh, for God's sake. See, Joe said just before we started recording, you're the host, and suddenly I've forgotten how to speak. But hello, welcome to the Snooker Loopy podcast. My name is Tom Mayhew. I'm a comedian and big snooker fan. I'm here with my very good friend Joe Hannard, who is a YouTuber and a big snooker fan as well. How are you, Joe? You good?
Yes, good. Happy New Year, Tom, and Happy New Year to all of our three listeners out there.
Well, you say that, Joe, but some of the episodes have had up to 150 views on YouTube.
Well, there you go. There you go.
And this year is going to be a big year for the podcast. I'm going to put it out on Spotify and stuff, I think.
Oh, yes. Very good.
So
Very
if
good.
we're not
Very good.
guests of honor at the Crucible this year, I'll be very disappointed.
Well, we can go on our own tour, can't we?
We should do. Oh, mate, would you do? Because obviously I've done lots of live gigs, but would you do a live podcast?
Oh, well, probably, yeah.
Oh, we are booking that in as soon as we've got 20 fans. We're going to find a. We're going to find the smallest venue.
We're going to
in
find
the
the smallest venue in the country and fill it out.
Yeah. I mean, a sellout is a sellout, right? You know. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good to be back. It's good to be back. And the one thing I wanted to do, because we don't have most podcasts, they're very produced. They've got things like a theme tune, or they've got really exciting sound effects. And obviously, we can't use the actual version of Snooker Loopy, can we?
Mm.
However, Joe, I've got a surprise for you. Do you know the website? I think they're called like CelebVM and stuff like that.
No.
They're websites where you can get video messages from your favorite celebrities.
Oh yes, yeah.
So I've sent you a link there.
Are these from all of your comedy profits? Is this?
No. This is going to be very exciting. I mean, comedy profits. Have you seen the industry, mate? Jesus.
Oh my goodness me.
So I will edit the audio and put it into the podcast. But if Joe just wants to react live as he plays it.
React live, okay.
Well, I didn't really know what to do with this request, so I know you're Snooker Loopy nuts, so here we go. I might as well, rather than just talking, I might as well try and sing it. So, Snooker Loopy nuts are we, me and him and them and me. We'll show you what we can do with a load of balls and a snooker cue. Pot the red, then screw back for the yellow, green, brown, blue, pink and black. Snooker Loopy nuts are we. We're all snooker loopy. Bum 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 bum.
Oh dear. He can't sing any better, can he?
I mean, it's barely singing, right?
He looks so awkward doing it. It's wonderful. I can't believe you managed that. I thought he might go, I tell you what, or something like that, or go, it's a cracker.
Oh well, maybe if this podcast turns a profit in the next year,
then we get we every bit of profit we make from this we can invest into celeb clips.
He was 60 quid, Dennis Taylor.
Oh. Money well spent. Money well spent.
I mean, I think
cost of living crisis.
I mean, in a way, I think it is money well spent. In another way,
absolutely.
I will remind listeners early on, I do have a Patreon. So if you want to basically fund me, some would say wasting money on getting snooker players to sing Snooker Loopy. I disagree. If you want to help fund that, I do have a Patreon.
What was the request? I want to know what the request was.
I literally just posted the lyrics for Snooker Loopy. I didn't say, would you be able to sing this? I didn't say, hi, I'm doing a thing, or hello, would you do this? I literally just said my name was Snooker Loopy and posted the lyrics, and I was like, you can do with that what you like.
Fair enough.
And he did it.
That's what he did. That's what he did. There you go. And he got 60 quid for it. There you go.
Well, thank you very much, Dennis Taylor. That's something I would cherish.
Yes, thanks, Dennis. Cheers, Dennis.
For the rest of my life. There we go.
Oh, yeah. almost as much as Rob Walker saying your name in the virtual championship. And he did. Oh, he also did the. He's talked to you twice now, hasn't he?
Again, I'm going to do lots of editing for this podcast, it seems. I'm going to edit in that little chat me and Rob had. I mean, it wasn't a chat. I tweeted him talking about his infamous Yan Bingtao video, and I'll put the
Wow.
audio for that in here.
Playing the patient game here, Matt Selt. Tom Mayhew is saying, why was I so excited about the carpet at Yan Bingtao's house? Yep. Well called out, Tom. We've been doing a few pieces to try and get behind the personalities. It's complete garbage that there are no characters in snooker anymore. Complete and utter garbage. But when they're at an event, they're not likely to be drinking 6 pints because it's too competitive. They've got to try and win the event. Anyway, we went around we did a piece at Mark Selby's house, Kyron Wilson's house, drove a tractor with Dave Gilbert, and we did a piece with Yan Bingtao, which ended up going viral, I believe, on social media. He just moved into a house, and yeah, we did the best with the material we had, and quite rightly, there was a high level of Mickey taking going on. So yeah, at my expense, I'll take that one, Tom Mayhew.
So yeah, I did that. What do you think, Joe? Do you think he's as ashamed as he should be?
What, Rob?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, he did sound pretty embarrassed in that clip. I must admit. I don't think it's one of his proudest moments. But I admire him for actually going into his house and trying to get answers out of him, because he's never been the best interview person to have. So to turn up to his house and try and get anything out of him was amazing.
I mean, I would argue if that was a normal interviewer who just asked the standard questions, no one would have watched that video. But Rob,
yeah.
But Rob at least made it funny. I mean, it was ridiculous, but it was funny. I don't know if he was trying to be funny. I don't really know, but he made it entertaining at least. Like, that's probably one of the most viewed videos of any snooker content over the past year. Like Rob going, "Look how soft this carpet is! Oh, quick, get a shot of this carpet."
Yeah, no, he's bonkers. But I mean, speaking of that, we always go on these tangents, but I do think WST, for all of their flaws, they are putting a lot of effort into their YouTube content, which I think is good.
I wasn't sure whether to bring up YouTube because since the last podcast we recorded, Joe, the little Crucible kind of pilot episodes we did last year, since then, Stephen Hendry has started a YouTube channel. He's after your fans, Joe. How do you feel?
Well, I think he's got many more than all of my fans. So
does he?
I think he's got something like 80,000 subscribers or something.
No way! I'm going to quickly.
Genuinely, I think he has.
He's only started like a month ago. Stephen Hendry, 80,000. Oh, it's loading. Here we go. Stephen Hendry's Q-Tips, it's called. God, 56,000.
Well, there you go.
I mean, how's he done that? God. I mean, I know it is Stephen Hendry, obviously, but does that annoy you, Joe? That you've basically spent years building yourself up to be the snooker YouTube man?
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm not bothered. He creates different content to me, doesn't he? So I'd like to maybe what one of his future videos needs to be is a frame with Captain Goodspeed on Snooker 19. Maybe that's what he needs to do.
We'll start the petition today, shall we? We'll start.
Oh, it'll be on Stephen Hendry's This Is Snooker, which was meant to come out 3 years ago.
Do you think his YouTube comments are full of people going, "Hey, when's that game coming out, Stephen?"
Well, if they're not, they should be. He's still got the promo poster up in his snooker room.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Maybe it's going to be one of those famous games that's in development hell for about 20 years, and it will finally come out eventually.
It will finally come out as Stephen Hendry Jr. This is snooker.
James Cahill's This Is Snooker.
James Cahill, yeah.
Snooker Loopy, nuts are we. We're all snooker loopy. Boom, boom, boom. Bum.
But the main topic at the moment, of course, everyone's talking about is the match fixing, the alleged match fixing, I should say. And you can't really say much about that either, because I feel like there's enough people going, "Oh, what do you think of that?" And every snooker player just goes, "Yeah, it's bad, isn't it?" Because what else are you going to say? They're not going to go, "Actually, I really love the match fixing. I think there should be
I'm
more
match
of it."
fixing too. Yes.
We're all doing it. But I think Captain Goodspeed fans, they'll be a bit nervous. They'll be possibly wondering. You've probably played more games of virtual snooker on YouTube than any man in history, and they'll want me to ask the question, Joe. I don't want to ask it, but they'll want me to ask: have you ever fixed a match?
No.
There was a pause there. He looked
I
very
have
nervous.
not. Well. It depends. It depends what you mean. Have I taken advantage of the AI stupidity sometimes? Yes. Which I guess is a form of match fixing. But I was never offered large sums of money other than from YouTube themselves to throw matches in dramatic fashion.
Well, I mean, how much would we? I don't know why I'm putting so much money into this podcast, because snooker podcasts are probably not very commercial. But how much will I have to pay you for you to do a snooker 19 video where it's just you playing like a 5-frame match against Dominic Dale, and you lose 3-0 with a high break of 4?
Well, I think you could just buy me a drink. I think that would probably be enough.
If only more players were that upfront and open about their match fixing, then it wouldn't be a problem. We'd get it out of the way straight away.
Well, maybe we just need the news of the world back. Maybe that's what we need.
We just had our virtual snooker Higgins moment just there with Goodspeed's revelation.
Yes, I was in lots of fear of this very scary Tom.
Well, if I edit the podcast, I can make you say anything technically.
Well, you can. To be fair, you can, and you do.
So, I mean, I don't really want to talk about it in a serious way, because I think it's a very dry, boring topic. But I did think it could be a fun idea of us to try and think of more interesting punishments for match fixing, because it is usually just you're banned from the sport for a couple of years and you're given a hefty fine. I thought maybe if the punishments were more creative, maybe it might put them off a bit more, or maybe it would just at least it would, people go, "Oh, match fixing's really bad for an entertainment product," and it's like, well, at least if the punishments were entertaining, you wouldn't have to worry. So my first one I thought of is that if they are caught match fixing for the next year, they have to play every match blindfolded.
I mean, some of them play like they are blindfolded.
Well, exactly. And if you're gonna throw the game, you may as well make it funny for us to watch, right?
Yeah.
There'll be a bit of slapstick. They'll accidentally hit the ref on the bum with their cue and lose a frame.
Yeah, they'll end up playing on the wrong table.
Just JV going, "What's this? What?
Where's the player going?"
Stephen Hendry's walked to the wrong table here. I don't know what he's doing.
Are you suggesting Stephen Hendry is one of those that may be match fixing?
I am not. Legally, no. However, if Stephen Hendry wants to deny it, he is more than welcome to come on the podcast and do so.
Yes.
Otherwise, we'll just take it as he is. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's got to be a reason he's not turning up, right?
Yes, my sort of punishment would be to chuck them onto the pool circuit for a bit.
Oh, wow. They will get thrashed, as we've seen whenever they try and play pool. So that would be incredible.
Hi to all the pool fans out there.
We've just lost a third of our listeners, probably. That one pool fan out there.
That one person. Perhaps another punishment could be they all have to do 1,985 retakes of the Black Ball final frame.
I mean, that would put you off, wouldn't it? Like, if you match fix, you're going to have to waste days of your life pretending to be Dennis, and they have to pretend to be Dennis Taylor. They have to wear the glasses upside
They
down.
have to wear a big ginger wig and a big, and then some big upside down glasses, and yeah.
I thought of some more that I've got noted down here. One was if they're caught match fixing for the next 2 years on tour, they can still play snooker, but Rob Walker has to take every fifth shot they take.
Oh,
They have to sort of tag him in, go, all right, Rob, he comes in, and they might be on a really good break. And Rob might pot it, he might not.
oh, well, then you would see who his favourites are.
That's very true. Yeah, and we'd also see how good he really is. I mean, if both players are match fixing, it could end up being Rob against Rob, which I'd like to see.
There's enough players doing it.
One more thing I thought of was if you're caught match fixing, you can still play. But you know how there's the triple crown thing on the waistcoats? It wouldn't be a crown; it would just be a Barry Hearn's face looking really sad.
With like fake tears rolling down. And...
yeah, exactly. So that they'd have that on their waistcoat for life whenever they play.
No, I like it. I like it. Maybe people should vote in the comments and tell us which one they think.
If you want to suggest your own in the comments, feel free to either comment below or tweet us on Twitter. Joe's Captain Goodspeed. I'm Tom Mayhew. Feel free to tweet us or comment on YouTube, and we'll read them out if there's any good ones.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we'll have like 500 by next episode.
Yeah, we'll at Jason Ferguson with all of the suggested punishments. Maybe it'll help with their investigation.
I mean, we've still got time. The investigation's taken a long time, so I can only presume they're just trying to think of more creative punishments.
They haven't got us on board yet. That's the problem.
I mean, come on, WST, sort it out. Get us on board. All I'm saying is people won't match fix if, for example, if you were caught match fixing for the rest of your career, you had to commentate on yourself while playing. That would stop people.
Yeah, or you had to have John Virgo stood next to the table with a big microphone.
Or like a megaphone, really shouting it.
A megaphone, yeah.
I'd love that. But it is a shame that this controversy has overshadowed the upcoming Masters, because I think it's we all know it's a massive event, and there's a poor graphic designer somewhere who has spent hours making video packages of the top 16, and suddenly
in
with 2
an
days
abandoned
left,
warehouse. Yeah.
2 days left, they've gone, right, Google Hossein Fafai and put him in the graphics, please, because he's been brought in.
Yeah. I mean, poor John Parrott, he's done all his revision on the top 16, and he's never seen Hossein play. Who's the other one that's been called up? Who's 17?
And David Gilbert.
Oh, Dave Gilbert, yeah.
I think it's a shame that, it is good, obviously, that they do it by the rankings, but maybe it would be more fun if they just picked a player at random, like put all the names in the hat, and went, now in the Masters it's Craig Steadman or something.
You can see why they don't. Sorry, Craig. Sorry.
If Craig wins the Masters in the next 5 years, you're going to look pretty stupid, Joe.
I am going to look stupid, aren't I? But it might get us more views. Who knows?
What a Craig Steadman podcast rivalry.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's always a good tournament. I always love it on the BBC, the Masters. Have you got any thoughts for it? Are you looking forward to it? Are you in that snooker mindset at the moment?
To be honest with you, Tom, this season I've not been as into it as I have in previous years, and I don't know what it is. But yeah, I think with the Masters being the top players, I will naturally enjoy it. I think for a second year in a row, the UK lineup was fairly underwhelming from the quarterfinals onwards.
Hmm.
You know, Mark Allen and Ding in the final isn't what it would have been 10 years ago.
Oh, it was a good final though.
It was a good final, don't get me wrong, but I just mean from the names of going, oh, I must watch that match. You know, I
Yeah.
see Ding and Mark Allen and I think, wow, well, not bothered. I'm glad I did watch it because it was very good, but it doesn't have, you know, we've got such big names in the sport, you know, Ronnie, Higgins, Williams, Robertson, Selby, Trump. You know, all of those players, if they're in a final together, like we had in the World Championship, it just takes it to another level, in my opinion. And I don't think we've really had any of those big finals this year. Off the top of my head, I can't think of any particularly.
Well, hopefully the Masters will be the one because it
Well,
should
yeah,
be
well,
the
you
one.
would expect it to be because most of the dross is filtered out by the fact it is only the top 16. So
Most of the dross is this Joe Hannard doing his Ronnie O'Sullivan impression here?
yeah, most of the dross that I could maybe beat with half a finger.
Oh, wow, that's Joe. Joe's setting out a challenge to.
Well, no.
You have just
No, I
challenged.
don't play often enough now, but
I was going to say you've challenged 112 pros, but now it's probably about 102. 'Cause you've challenged 102
pros.
professional
Dave
players.
Gilbert, Hossein Vafai, and one other. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. No, I just think it's...
do you think there's a player you could actually beat?
What, on tour?
Yeah.
Over how many frames?
Best of 5.
No. Maybe in a one-frame shootout, I could potentially, you know, win a frame, but I don't.
Well, who
I
are you
don't think.
Who are you going to challenge? Let's challenge someone on the podcast now.
Challenge somebody on the podcast. Oh,
And you're not allowed to pick the match fixers because I know you'll just pay them off.
what with my huge sums of YouTube money?
I mean, you're Mr. 23,000 subscribers, Joe. You're doing
Yeah.
very well for yourself.
Yeah. Dominic Dale.
Oh, he's laid down the gauntlet to the spaceman there. If you're listening, Dale, Joe challenges you.
Yeah.
If Joe wins, he gets your place on tour.
yeah. I mean, they'll be handing out cards willy-nilly next season, won't they? So I might actually get it.
Well, I don't know how many of the players will actually drop off the tour because I think in the past, have they ever actually just chucked someone off the tour, or do they just suspend them and then they fall off?
I can't remember about Stephen Lee. Everybody else, you know, I think has been just sat on the tour.
Weird, because I remember Jamie
Stephen.
Jones just sort of was suspended and just slid down the rankings and fell off. Well, he didn't match fix, we should say. He just didn't report it, and he was punished for that.
Same with Stuart Bingham, wasn't it? I think
now Bingham bet on matches, but did he bet on himself to win or something? So he couldn't be match fixing if he bets on himself to win, I think.
Yeah, well,
but you're still not supposed to bet. It's against the rules, like it is in football. Which seems a bit ridiculous when you literally make them wear the logo Betfrig on their waistcoat.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they've ever chucked anyone off tour, because if there's, some of these young lads, so we don't know what they've done, so we can't speculate. But if they get suspended, they still have like a second year on their tour card, and it would seem stupid to leave them on there when they're obviously just going to fall off.
Yeah, but they will. They'll just leave them on there because that's what they do. But I do think, as much as we were saying their YouTube content is good, I think WST as an organization need to have a big reshuffle of what it means to be the snooker tour, because I don't think it's working at the moment, because the players are unhappy. I don't know many fans that are thrilled with snooker at the moment, because Judd Trump's big complaint is that we keep dwelling on the past or whatever. And yet, snooker is not really doing anything to disconnect from that. I think there's a place for dwelling on the past. I was obviously we've had the World Cup recently in football, and they never stop going on about Maradona or Pele or whoever.
I would just like to say thank you again to Dennis Taylor for singing our song.
But football does it and nobody complains about it.
Yeah, totally.
I love personally, my favorite commentators are John and Dennis.
Mm.
I love the nostalgia of BBC events, but I do also take on the point of, if you don't know who those people are, then it means nothing to you.
Mm.
So you need to reach out and try and get new fans that way. I think that's what they need to try more with, and maybe more player events, more WST ran exhibitions. It shouldn't just be left up to snooker legends or the world seniors to go and put all of these old players and new players and current players out on the into snooker clubs and whatever. Why aren't WST doing that? Why aren't they putting on exhibitions for people to go and meet Judd Trump if that's who they want to meet, or Stuart Bingham, or Hossein Vavai? Put them out there, put them in the picture.
Bring us Barry
what
Pinches, please.
Yeah, exactly. But you could have certain tiers of players. You could have an exhibition. You could have your 1-star attraction. These could be going on all over the country.
Wow,
so you've got
Joe's
1-star attraction.
Slagging again. Dissing the snooker tool.
You've got say they do one in Yorkshire, right?
Yeah.
So they're all fairly northern players, probably. You might go for a Gary Wilson or somebody as your main guy, and then you filter down, and you've got your Mike Dunns, and you've got your Elliot Slessers, and your whoever, David Lilly, who now runs the local snooker club that I.
Really?
Well, yeah. Well, I don't know if I told you this, but yeah.
No. Oh my god! Have you met him?
I can't believe I didn't tell you this. But
have you met him?
So, well, not. I've been in the same room as him, but I've not met him.
Oh, mate, you've got to get his autograph.
I wouldn't. I don't think he would give me it.
Do you think he would sing Snooker Loopy for us?
I really do not think he would.
Can we get him on the pod?
Again, I don't think he would.
I'm going to keep asking questions until we get a positive result. Do you think he would want to sponsor the podcast?
Definitely not.
This podcast, if we can do it proper, this podcast is sponsored by David Lilly Snooker Club, the best club.
Well, it's not David Lilly Snooker Club. It's the South
called?
Shield Snooker Centre, I'll have you know, Tom. But yes.
I mean, it'd be better in your voice because you've got the accent. But there we go. Yeah. Joe can say it in his accent. Come on, David. 50 quid.
Come on, David.
An episode. Yeah. We're not asking for much.
So he's now the manager of the snooker club that I go to. Very
You should challenge him to a match.
When I'm in the Northeast. I should challenge him to a duel.
Yeah, you should.
A one-frame shootout.
Cool. I mean, I'm the only snooker fan in the world who would genuinely be excited by that.
Yeah. But yeah, I think something to connect the local people to their local stars, if you like.
What you mean, those characters from the League of Gentlemen, right?
Yeah, I don't know what I'm saying, but I just think they need more access to real life people, and get down to the grassroots, do coaching days, do fun prize events, raffles, that sort of thing. You could win a Dennis Taylor. You can win a Dennis Taylor trick shot video.
I mean, like an actual VHS.
Yeah, VHS. Yeah. Have you ever watched? There's a like an hour and a half long trick shots thing of Dennis Taylor doing trick shots and impressions and whatever back in the 80s. And the very start of the VHS tape is him in a little rowing boat going out on the lake, and he's got a fishing rod, and he pulls out a Steve Davis trick shot VHS and he throws it back into the water. More editing for Tom to do. He's going to overlay it on the top of this right now, isn't he?
I'm going to have to now that you've said it. I wasn't going to, Joe, but now I'm going to have to find it out.
What have we got here? A really interesting video with an insight into my private life, including my world-famous ring pull collection and physics homework notes from the 1970s. Well, they won't sell many of those. Let's see what else we can catch. Oh, it looks like we got another. What have we got this time? Let's have a look. Oh, dear me. Oh, you wouldn't believe it. It's one of those John Virgo No Dad waistcoats. I know now why they call them No Dads. It's because at Christmas all the kids say, "No, Dad, I don't want one of those silly things." Hello? No. No, I'm busy. What? No, I'm not doing it. No, I don't care. Look, I said no, and I mean no. How much? Hang on, I'll be right with you. Snooker Loopy nuts are we. We're all Snooker Loopy. Bum 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 bum.
So I'm taking that as a no. I haven't seen that, Joe.
No, I mean I will have seen it immediately after this podcast ends because that sounds amazing.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Snooker's in a precarious position, really. I think because we're very close to the end for the class of '92, who I think are probably still the three most popular players overall in the game.
Yeah, I'd
or
say
three of the top 8 at the very least. You know what's sad? Jimmy White is probably still in the top 10 of favorite players.
Yeah, I mean Jimmy White would sell more tickets than Karen Wilson and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? And that's mad.
Yeah. Well, that's the situation Snooker is in. People are more interested in the fact that Stephen Hendry hasn't bothered entering a tournament than Gary Wilson winning his first ranking title.
Yeah, no, that's the whole reason Hendry's got his tour card, because they know he can still sell more tickets than the vast majority of the tour, even if he plays rubbish, utterly rubbish, even if he doesn't pot a ball.
Yeah, I hope he plays in the shootout this year. Yellow. Blue.
What's your favourite shootout noise, Joe?
To be honest, I don't really have one. I would say potentially the Pink Panther theme whenever the pink is potted.
Da-da, 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 that one. I mean, what I know people slag off the shootout, and there's lots of reasons to slag it off, but when they're singing the Pink Panther, you can hear the smiles in their voices, which I think is quite sweet.
Yeah. Yeah.
People have a good time, and it's not a traditional snooker thing, but Hendry's not in the shootout, mate.
Boo, blue,
boo, Hendry. I mean, that's a shame. Like literally, that Just play an event, mate.
I mean, that's probably a tournament that he's got the best chance of winning.
Yeah. Exactly.
Or at
Well,
least winning a match.
Oh.
You know?
It's mad, really, because at the moment I was looking at the rankings, and the rankings are based, on prize money, and then all the players on the same amount. It's ranked on how many events you've entered and played in, and he's currently ranked 130th at the moment. He's right at the bottom.
Wow.
And that's got to be the lowest he's ever been ranked in his whole career. Which
Yeah.
surely you'd have to be a bit embarrassed by that and want to change it.
Well, yeah, I just think he's not bothered, particularly. And what's really sad is, that first match he came back, he scored a century in the first frame.
Yeah.
It's there somewhere. But he said it himself on his channel. He's just doesn't practice, or not enough anyway. I mean, we saw this coming. He doesn't even win the seniors event.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, are you looking forward to the Masters? To bring us all the way back round.
Thank you for asking me back for the question I asked you about 30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I am, yeah. I think it's it's always good to watch BBC events. It's one of the last 2 BBC events where we're going to have probably JV and probably Dennis, I think, to be honest, which is a bit of a shame if it's not out of their choosing. It's going to be quite sad, I think. But it's always a good event, the Masters, and
we've heard it before that it would be their last season, and that they've clung on until now. So I'm still hopeful. But I do think ITV would be a bit daft to not snap them up if BBC did let them go. Yeah, I think at the very least, I think we'll see John Virgo snapped up. Even though I think they are both loved by a lot of snooker fans, I think Virgo will possibly be the slightly bigger loss to the coverage, just because I think he's more iconic in terms of the commentary side of things. I think Dennis Taylor, obviously, snooker player history wise, he is more iconic than John Virgo, but because Virgo was a big break icon and his trick shots are renowned, and just his voice, he is the voice of snooker now.
Well, the reason he was so good on Big Break is that he's got more of that kind of charisma you need to be a presenter to actually present a product, which I don't think comes as naturally to Dennis Taylor or Steve Davis or a lot of those. Well, most snooker players, frankly, don't have that same kind of gravitas and just sense of showmanship that Virgo has, and he's got it, which is why he was on Big Break and why, despite not having the best playing career, he's still one of the most famous players from that era. There's players who are far more successful who aren't in the game anymore.
Yeah.
But Virgo's, I mean, whatever happens, for Virgo still to be the lead commentator at his age after so many years in the game is bloody impressive, isn't it?
Well, yeah, and I think I seen somebody tweet during the UK Championships that nobody can, present the climax to a match the way John Virgo does. The sort of it's hard to explain, but the sort of sum up at the end of a match where the commentator will say Ding Junhui is through, and he's through to the final by 10 frames to 6 or whatever.
Yeah.
John Virgo delivers that inch perfectly every time.
Well, I think what he nails is at the end of the match, the crowd are on their feet with adrenaline and excitement, clapping and cheering. The players have the adrenaline going through them at the end of the match, and there's the big fist pump because you're so happy to have won it. And Virgo matches it, which is what you have to do. He matches that energy level. Whereas
because he goes up a notch if you see the good old fist pump from Sean Murphy, and
But that's what you have to do as a good commentator. You have to match what's going on in front of you. Whereas I don't think some of the other names they don't do it as well as him. No one does it as well as him.
Yeah. And that's what I think is sad, is that Virgo, I think, is still the best in the business. Yeah. might be out of a job in snooker next year. After all these years, I think if there are two people that deserve to call it time when they want to call it time, it's Dennis and John, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think equally Steve Davis as a pundit, John Parrott to a lesser extent, but I still think Steve and John Parrott should get the opportunity to decide when they want to step down, because they've been part of the BBC coverage for years and years, for as long as I've been alive. And, it's the same with Hazel as well. These people, you're not telling me that Gary Lineker will be booted off Match of the Day before he says, look, I want to step down. You look at Sue Barker, for instance, with the Wimbledon, she stepped down. And I think people need to be given that opportunity to go on their own terms. And if they take the job to their grave, then so be it,
I'm absolutely fine with them bringing in new talent and maybe going, okay, Dennis Taylor and Virgo are going to take a slight step back, but they should still be there. I don't know why you'd get rid of them completely, because I get you need to give the other people experience before you pass on the commentary waistcoat or whatever you call it. Do you know what I mean? But
yeah, the commentary white line pen.
Yeah, but they may as well still be there. I don't know why you wouldn't use them. To go, oh, we're going to get rid of them completely, seems ridiculous. Like, because why would you not have them on board still?
I think we see a lot of noisy people on Twitter, and I think that potentially clouds our judgment of how popular the BBC coverage actually is, because we see the noisy crowd on Twitter. But if you watch the coverage and BBC tournaments where they've got their earpieces in, and if John Virgo says a funny line, like, the whole audience erupts in laughter. Therefore, they're not listening to Eurosport's commentary on these earpieces, which you can do. They're listening to the BBC, But according to the noisy lot on Twitter, Eurosport is the best coverage, and that is the opinion of so many people out there, including very renowned snooker journalists. And
Eurosport has the most coverage. Like, it doesn't. I think people confuse that for going, oh, it must be the best. Like, I think we all wish that, oh, wouldn't it be great if the BBC had 10 tournaments a season, but the coverage of a lot of these events. Like, I subscribed to Matchroom on YouTube, and they were doing the 50th edition of the Championship League at the moment. It seems to happen about 10 times a season. And I clicked on it, and I watched it for about 2 minutes today, because it was just no commentary, players playing in a really echoey hall, and you just like this. You may as well put them in a club. Do you know what I mean? You
well,
put
who
no
the
effort
hell
into
wants
it.
to watch that? Honestly, who wants to watch that? Because who wants to? Yes, okay. Today, I think Selby played Trump. That's an okay match, but nobody wants to watch Kyron Wilson take on Barry Pinches in the Championship League. I'm sorry, nobody does want to watch that match, apart from Kyron's kids and some weird Barry Pinches fans, probably somewhere in Norwich. I don't know why Norwich, but I think all his fans are from Norwich.
And if you are one of those weird Barry Pinches fans, please do get in touch. We'd love to chat to you.
Well, you know what I mean. It's and that, I think that hits the nail on the head with snooker at the moment. Is that you've got these Mickey Mouse tournaments that nobody cares about, and there's too many of those tournaments. The players don't care about it. The fans don't care about it.
I would love a actual Mickey Mouse tournament that's like they have to dress up as Disney characters while playing. That would
Disney
get ratings.
Open. Yeah. Oh, and here's Neil Robertson dressed as Goofy.
Well, there's a bit of an argument backstage because both Sean Murphy and Stuart Bingham both wanted to be Winnie the Pooh. They had a bit of a fist fight over it.
Well, you couldn't have Judd Trump as Donald Duck, because then they'd say it's Judd who's as Donald Trump, and then
That's very true.
Should we have quick predictions for the Masters? I need to get the draw up.
I mean, who's in it at the moment? It changes every day at the moment.
Yeah. So go on. Who are your finalists for the Masters?
Well, I'm thinking Ronnie against Mark Allen.
Okay. And
what do you think?
And who's going to win? And by what score?
Oh God. Mark Allen's going to win by 2 frames.
Ooh.
Why have I said that? No.
I'm going to go Sean Murphy against Selby.
Murphy against Selby?
And it's going to be Murphy that wins 10-6.
I mean, you heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, I've heard it through the match fixing grapevine. Yeah.
That's our predictions. Let us know in the comments as well if you have any people who you think, any predictions. Who do you think is going to win? Who do you think is going to go out in the final? And who do you think is going to be very disappointing in the first round? Feel free to let us know in the comments. All that's left to say, thank you again, Joe, for joining me.
My pleasure.
It's been absolutely lovely as always. This is the Snooker Loopy podcast on YouTube or on Spotify. Please do subscribe or follow and all that stuff, because who knows what I'm going to surprise Joe with next episode.
I can't wait. To be fair, you've surprised me with Dennis Taylor themed things in the past. You got me the Dennis Taylor Kellogg's figure. Where is he? He's down there. Shall I go get him?
Yes, please do. I've not seen him for a while, and I was missing him actually. I can see you've got the PS1 snooker game on display.
Here we go. It's the 1985 champion himself. That's the Dennis Taylor.
It's a cracker.
There you go.
It's an absolute cracker.
Yes, and he's going to say some words. Yeah. Goodbye.
Joe is using Dennis Taylor a bit like he is the puppet Sooty. In that only Joe can hear him speak at the moment, but it's wonderful to watch. Joe, can you take a photo of that Dennis, and maybe I'll put him as the thumbnail of the podcast?
You can have him side by side with the one singing Snooker Loopy. Yeah.
We'll make our own stop motion music video with that Dennis Taylor.
I'll give you 3 guesses as to what year this Dennis Taylor Kellogg's figure was made.
I mean, it must have been 86, surely.
No.
87?
No.
89.
Oh, idiot.
Oh, no! I mean, that is... they've waited a while to make that.
Yeah, and to be honest, he looks a little bit topless. I don't... if you look, he looks like he's not wearing a shirt underneath his waistcoat.
Oh, yeah! He's got his... he's got like a low-cut kind of... like what some boy band members wear. Very, very low-cut top.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, fair play to Dennis if he wants to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. They'll just be calling him Dirty Den. That's a problem.
And on that note, it's good night from me.
And it's good night from him.